Hello my friends and welcome to the channel for another Escape From Tarkov video. In this one, I want to take a look at the M1A, formerly one of my favorite weapons in Tarkov and for a long time easily considered one of the best 7.62x51 rifles available in the game. With the latest patch, the M1A has taken a pretty serious blow by the nerf hammer, getting its recoil stat increased fairly substantially even when fully built out with expensive attachments. Just as a comparison, the M1A was once able to pretty easily get down to around 50 recoil or even lower, without even needing to min-max recoil reduction on attachments. But now, even with the highest possible recoil reduction through attachments, the lowest that I could get it was 76 vertical recoil. Given the fact that the M1A is already much heavier than other 7.62 rifles and has never really had good ergonomics, this is a pretty big hit overall. In some ways, I do understand this change. For one, the M1A is a lot older and less technically sophisticated than the more modern DMR rifles in the game like the SR25, R.S.A.S., or G28. So it does kind of make sense that it shouldn't be straight up better than those other rifles. In terms of game balance as well, the M1A is the only 7.62 DMR that can take 30 and 50 round mags, which made it overall much more effective at fighting multiple players when the recoil was also so much better than other DMRs. That being said, I don't think this nerf means the end of the M1A as an effective loadout choice. The recoil might be higher now, but really it's just now on par with the SR25, G28, and R.S.A.S. Picking the M1A means that you're sacrificing ergonomics and weight for a bigger magazine, which sometimes really makes all the difference in Tarkov. For the rest of this video, I want to show you the two builds that I've been running on the M1A while testing it out during this patch, and then show some gameplay from raids that I was playing with the M1A EBR build. So first up, let's take a look at that EBR build, a setup that I will always defend even if it's never been the best way to run this gun. It just looks so nice, and sometimes the rule of cool is more important than anything else. For this setup, you just swap out the default stock of the M1A for the M14 EBR handguard, stock, and pistol grip, which are all available from Mechanic. This gets you a top rail and side rails for attachments, as well as a bottom rail to mount the Atlas bipod so you can set this up in a prepared position. Next, I swap out the default 16-inch barrel for the 22-inch barrel for extra accuracy and recoil reduction. For the muzzle device on my EBR build, I usually take one of two paths. First, I've been running the Delta Tech DTK AR10 muzzle brake for loud builds. This one is pretty cheap and offers decent recoil reduction for a simple muzzle brake. Running loud is certainly not always ideal, but sometimes I like to do it just so other players will hear my shots and come and try to find me, giving me more things to shoot at. For suppressed builds, I like the wave suppressor on this setup since it gives decent recoil reduction without hitting the ergonomics too much. Finally, I also add on an ARMS 18 mount and then the Elcan Spectre 1-4 scope to finish this setup off. If you want to run with the 30mm scopes, just swap this ARMS 18 mount over to the M14 DCSB mount instead. With this setup, I get about 116 recoil and 37 ergonomics with the loud build, and 111 recoil and 21 ergonomics with the suppressed build. This setup also weighs over 8 kilograms, making it one of the heaviest builds in Tarkov and a real pain to hardscope without the bipod. For a much more fully built setup on the M1A, the S.A.S.S build is still by far the best choice. This setup swaps out the default stock for the Troy M1A S.A.S.S chassis, which gets you rail space for a sight, foregrip, and the bipod, and lets you add a buffer tube and M4 stock as well. For this build, I have it set up with the RTM ATP buffer tube and the Chris DS150 stock. There's upgrades to these parts available, but they're locked behind a lot of gunsmith quests, so these are probably the most easily available parts for the average player. I also add on the Atlas bipod, a Magpul RVG foregrip, and the Orion pistol grip for some ergonomics bonuses. Next, I swap over to the 22-inch barrel again, and on the S.A.S.S build, I generally like to run it with the Thunderbeast Ultra 5 suppressor, because it has pretty good recoil stats and it's more lightweight, so it doesn't add to the already bulky total weight of this thing. For the optic, I've been running my full M1A builds with the Alpha 4 30mm mount and then a SIG Tango 6 scope, sometimes with a backup red dot sight. Finally, you can also slap on some backup iron sights for the +2 ergonomics. With this setup, I get 93 vertical recoil, about 32 ergonomics, and a total weight of around 7.3 kilograms. Still very heavy, but lighter than the EBR variant. As I said earlier, even with the highest recoil reduction attachments available, the M1A S.A.S Tactical Hydraulic Buffer Tube with a PRS Gen 3 stock, an RK2 foregrip, and the Lantac BMD or the PRS QDC suppressor, the M1A still only gets down to around 76 recoil at the lowest, which is a big change compared to previous patches. While testing out these builds in Raid, I did get Tarkov'd repeatedly while using the S.A.S build, but I had some pretty good raids with the EBR variant, so I'm going to let those clips play for the rest of this video. Overall, I don't think the M1A is dead, but it certainly isn't a top tier build like it used to be. Maybe that's for the best since it elevates the other DMR rifles, but that's a hard call for me to make. What do you think? Are you going to miss the M1A being one of the best rifles in Tarkov, or is it about time that the SR25 and G28 rise to the top of the pile? In any case, I hope you enjoy the video, and thanks for watching. I've got links to my Twitch stream down in the description if you want to come check out some Tarkov raids live, and until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City, everyone. What was that? Suppressed M60. It's a little foggy out here. Just a little foggy. It's so foggy, dude. There's another one. Now, another question. Did I kill the first guy that I was shooting at? Got that one. Oh my good lord. Yeah. This guy's got a P90 and OTV. I'm pretty sure that this is the first guy, just because of the beta backpack. Can you even see the bullet? Yeah, that looks like SS-190. Alright, let's go, let's go. Where's number 3? Hell yeah, bro. Hey, that's the one trade from Mechanic, right? Or Jaeger. God, I wonder if they'll ever actually fix the floating over the rocks. Oh. It's a nice looking SKS, actually. I mean, they are weird like that about, like, statistics of war games and war simulations and stuff. They, like, supposedly throughout history have based a lot of their planning, their decision makings and logistics and stuff all around, like, computer simulations and, like, number crunching. And then it just, like, you know, doesn't quite work out like that in real life. Whoa. Hey, SR3. First one of those I've seen. Dude, what's with everybody in the Death Shadow mask today? Oh, fuck. I'm too oh, the sink. That's poor fucking bathroom management. Why would you have two? Why do you have 2 sinks and 1 toilet? Can anybody figure that out for me? Always have backups. One of them's a bidet. You gotta fucking get up here and bend over, crouch down, turn it on.